Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com. And by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donotshout.com.
There we go. We're going to up us. There we go. Down us, up us. Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city. And yes, we're live tonight on this little bit of rain. We needed the rain. We need the rain really bad. If you've dug any holes around your yard, moving plants, etc., you've noticed that it's very dry. And you can keep digging, and you don't hit any kind of moisture until you're 4 or 5 feet deep. And so it's a beautiful night to that extent. And we're live, and you can give us a call if you like. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, 978, there it is. Just as I was about to say it, 978-537-7760 is the number to call it. Just hit the number 3, and that'll put us in touch. And speaking of in touch, is none other than the world famous, and I mean we're beginning to really spread through the nations, the Art Report.
You are really stretching it. I'll tell you, how are the figs?
Everywhere I go, everywhere. A guy stopped me, I forget where I was, and he said, I know Art, I've known Art for a long time. I used to work at Digital with him.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Just telling
That's
you.
Cool.
Just telling you.
Hello?
Hello.
No, okay, I got you.
Thank you for those figs. They were melt in your mouth, mouth-watering, sweet, great texture figs.
I brought some to the surgeon that worked on Rito last week. He went out of his mind eating them.
They were nice. They were perfect size. Just
Yeah.
kind of, they were the size of a little bigger than a Hershey Kiss, but bang, popped right in.
And we're still picking.
Savor the taste. They were good. I just
Yeah,
let them.
the doctor couldn't believe that one of the nurses said, I didn't know you could grow them around here.
You just.
And I said, well, they're potted, but they come out good.
Just swish them around your mouth.
Yeah. She's back in, by the way. They took her back in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, operational infection.
Oh, no, that can happen.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Maybe Saturday she'll be home, I hope.
Good. That's 2 days away.
Yeah. But other than that, I see they're putting up a big structure at the Harris Farm up there where the barns were, the milk barn.
I don't know if it's a house or another barn or what. But
I know. I couldn't figure it out either. But
I didn't look at the building permit, but the guy's done a nice job up there.
Unbelievable the way they fixed that up.
He's put a lot of money into it. Yeah. So,
yeah, that's for damn sure.
And it still looks like farmland.
Yeah. I know one thing. I thought that the emergency room at Leominster was a piece of work, for lack of a better term, on a busy night. You ought to try Worcester.
Oh, yeah.
The sights and sounds, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is healthcare, and it's emergency rooms don't make money, and they never seem to have.
I'll tell you what.
They do their best. It's not the staff. They do their best. They're just not.
It was. What happened was we went for flu shots, and the doctor didn't like what he saw on Rita, and he said, I'm going to do some blood work. And they called us an hour later at home, says, we've already called UMass Memorial in Worcester. Get your butts up there right away. And that was the infection.
Right,
and they didn't have any rooms available, and what they did was they did a surgical procedure on her in the emergency room.
Wow.
And we got to the emergency room, it was, I'm talking over 100 people.
Oh, wow.
They took us right away. We weren't sitting 10 minutes. They brought her right in. And I was there till, we left here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I come home at 11 o'clock at night. And she didn't get up to her room till 4 a.m.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. But they did a good job. So stuff like that you can't avoid sometimes, I guess.
No, and remember, like around here, there's no more Fitchburg emergency room.
Yeah.
It's just the Leominster emergency room at the Leominster campus. And so if there's an accident on the highway, they end up either at UMass in Worcester or they end up at Leominster.
But you know, that short-term quick fix emergency room, like next to Longhorn, I don't know if I told you, my sister was here last week, a week after.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, and she was here for a class reunion. She got up and she came to visit us at the house. She got up to get out of the chair and she tripped and hit her head on the door.
Oh, no.
And it was bleeding. So I took her to the one next to Longhorn. In and out in 30 minutes, 10 staples in her head.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, they're trying to sort people out so the real, emergency cases do end up in the emergency room.
It worked well.
But
Typical Bartlett, she went to the reunion.
That's amazing. She must have had quite a squash, as they say.
Yeah, but they couldn't believe she was there either.
But I'll listen to the ambulance calls, and they just come in one after another, flu-like symptoms. And I think they're trying to change the law so that, I don't know if they have yet, but they're trying to change the law. If there's any firefighters or anybody out there, text me, so that so that they can transport you to, so the ambulance can transport you to one of those urgent care centers.
That's what they should do.
Right now, I don't think, if you call the ambulance, I don't think they can legally take you to the urgent care center. So, but I hear all the calls coming in and flu-like symptoms, abdominal pain. Now, that could mean something serious, but that could be something serious, or it could be just a flu, right? In that case.
Yeah, I didn't realize they did stitches. I mean, she went up to the window. She was done with the lady at the window in about a minute and a half. I said, let's go sit down. She said, no, we're going to bring you right in. She went right in. The nurse come in, looked at it, took us to another room. Next thing you know, the doctor come in, looked at it, and she said, I'm going to have to give you staples. And my sister says, good, because I got to go to a class reunion. The nurse looked at it like she was crazy, but she went.
Where does your sister live?
Connecticut.
Oh, all right. So she drove in. She wasn't about to miss it.
No. Stayed at the Sheridan and left the next day for Connecticut. Had him out the other day.
Was she a
She's doing fine.
Leominster High School graduate?
Yeah.
What year was it?
Oh, God. 70 maybe?
Wow. Incredible.
Oh, she's 60-something, so whatever.
Yeah, 1970.
Had a stint on Off-Broadway doing musicals and stuff. Quite talented.
Wow. That's incredible. Just like you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It runs in the blood.
Golfing and growing figs.
Yeah, it's been a good year for golf, but I haven't gone lately because of Rita. But that's okay. We can make up for it.
Let's get her better.
Yes, but that's all I got, buddy.
It's good to hear from you. Tell Rita I said hello. And
same here, I will, and that's why I missed last week. I'm sorry I missed it.
It's
but
okay.
That was the issue.
Hey, listen, the ratings dropped when you weren't here last week.
Oh yeah. The only thing that dropped was probably the donuts or something there. Come on.
Did you see Mrs. Schofield, 107 years old?
Isn't that a wonderful
Isn't that
thing?
amazing? 107.
That's wonderful.
I don't know.
Well, one of my golf partners is 90.
He golfs with you.
He's a Frenchman from right out of, played hockey when he was, 3 years old. Mm-hmm. He has a drive. It's like a slap shot. And that thing never fades. It's dead straight.
90 years old.
Beautiful shots, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, Dean.
All right. Talk to you later, Art.
Thank
Good
you.
to hear from you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. We are going to take a short break, and then we're going to talk about, we'll get some guests. We're going to talk about the red carpet. Yes, the red carpet. Award-winning film Randy's Canvas is coming of age, and a love story about an aspiring artist who also happens to be autistic. We're taking a short break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, what? Since we had to move the time machine out of here, we have to put something in its place in the law.
But we have to put a time machine here.
You think so?
We don't have to put that time machine, but we could put a time machine.
What do you suggest?
Well, let's see. What are other time machines?
You have the Wayback Machine from Peabody.
Sherman.
Yeah,
Right.
Sherman. Peabody.
But that's really big.
Right.
We need something for this space. We can't put a wormhole in. That won't work. How about the TARDIS?
Oh, from Doctor Who.
Yes.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Put it right here in the corner.
Time and relative.
But you know what? We have to make it so that it's portable and we can use it in the studio as a prop.
Yes.
So it's gonna be light. What can we make?
Cardboard.
Cardboard.
Cardboard's light.
Let's go.
All right.
Did I tell you what?
Is it the license or something?
Yeah. So if we play, welcome back. We're just chatting. So if we play something from YouTube, and I used to play a lot of music, and it cuts us off of streaming. Must be a licensing thing. Hey, we're back. My name's Dean Mazzarella. I'm here for the city, and texts keep coming in here, and for all kinds of things, but no answer to my question about can you be transported by ambulance to a urgent care center. So if somebody knows the answer to that, let me know. I know somebody from the fire station might be watching. You could just text me or email me or call. Just let me know. I don't think so. I think they were changing the legislation and so that they could. So if you call and say, I'm really sick, but I can't really move, and or I fell and I hurt something. I don't think I busted my leg, but I hurt it, but I can't stand on it. Can I get a ambulance ride to be transported to urgent care center? So we'll get back to you on that information. Anyway, let's talk. Stephanie Madrigal, Jerry Caruso, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for looking all excited tonight.
Oh
there,
yeah,
Jerry. I mean, this is like
we gotta hold back. Gotta hold back. You know,
It's been a long day.
we're gonna build it. Gotta build the energy. Right. It'll happen. It'll happen. I've been here before.
yes,
Many
That's
times.
what the Pilgrims thought.
Too many. Well,
thought we were
it was
here
a little
already
after
here.
that. It was a little after that.
Well,
How are
welcome
you?
to the show. I'm good. It's been a
You
long,
look good. You look
busy
good.
day.
Saw you outside. I go, who's that kid?
Yeah, you
The
didn't
young-
say
young
that.
chap.
You were talking
I said
about
the kid.
You're talking about the kids downstairs in the Fusion or whatever they call
You and
that
I,
place,
same
lifting
age
weights.
range. We just
Oh, so you figure if you say I look good, that must mean you look good because we're the same
absolutely.
age.
Absolutely.
So you really didn't mean to give me a compliment.
No, I meant to deflect both ways.
Carl, welcome to the show. Hello. Is somebody out there?
Hey, buddy, it's me, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. It's raining. We need some rain.
Yeah.
I hope you're home tonight.
Yes, I am.
Good. Everybody, when it rains, good time to stay home.
Yeah, Marie made a beautiful bean soup.
Really? Well, it's perfect.
Yes.
Perfect night for beef stew
Yeah.
and watching Inside Leominster.
Yes, and I did got home safe last night.
Good.
She,
Yes,
She told me next time I'm not outside.
It gets dark. Everybody has to remember if you're going somewhere. Remember, it gets dark early. Right?
And I have to let her know where I am.
Yes. Good thing. Good thinking.
I'll ask for the free French fries for you.
All right. Once I get up there to McDonald's and Garden, I might go tomorrow. It's free French fries for everybody.
Yep.
All right. Are you working tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Be good.
All right. I'm getting my award pretty soon.
All right. I heard all about it. Congratulations.
We're hoping you can make it.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you later, buddy.
Bye,
Over
Crystal.
out.
You know,
Bye.
talking about
Bye-bye, buddy.
time
Bye.
changes, I went down to a WOR radio station with a friend of mine. Wow. And so we left at like 6 at night because he kept, he wanted to go down. So we went down, and one of his friends is Joey Reynolds, does a talk show midnight to 7 or 6 in the morning down at WOR. So we went down, we left at 6 at night, we got there, walked around Times Square, we were all over the place until the show starts at midnight. But I always thought that Times Square, the lights stayed on all night. Mm-hmm. Did you know that they don't?
They don't.
So when we got out, it totally looked different.
Isn't that
So
strange?
then we had to try to, we're like, oh no, we remember that sign, nothing was lit up, it's pitch dark. And we're like, we parked our car where? And it's,
What time did you get out of there? Like 1-ish or later?
That's okay. You wake up at 3, so just don't fall
5
asleep.
o'clock in the morning.
5.
And we had to drive home because I had to be at the senior center for an event. Thank goodness my friend drove most of the way because I was beat. And yeah, so we shared driving. He drove most of the way though, but I didn't know that they shut the lights off. So I think we were like, yeah, wherever the Sony sign is, you take a left, get down through blocks, and the parking lot's there. The sign wasn't there anymore, and you'd think that you'd see some piece of it, pitched. I mean, just a few lights.
Isn't that strange?
And there's no lights anyway.
So strange.
Don't, don't always count on lights being on. Don't
go
have
on midnight
that.
talk shows.
That's right. Oh no more of those. We did have fun though.
That's
Les
cool.
Paul was on the show with us.
No kidding.
Imagine that. I walked in, and it was set up like this, and it was more of a U shape. And Soupy Sales.
Get out.
My daughter doesn't remember Soupy
I'm
Sales,
like-
but Les Paul was there.
Oh, wow.
And who else?
Oh,
The
I
guy
didn't know
that was on. What was the show? It was one of those military funny shows.
Hogan's Heroes.
Something like that. I'll think of the name of it. Anyway, he was on. There was a bunch of people. I have no clue what I was. We just kind of. He said, "Hey, why don't you guys come on with us?" And we're like, "All right, I don't know what I'm talking about." But we came on and we stayed there from. They have Jewish hour from midnight till 1, and then 1 o'clock we went on and stayed till 2 and 3 and 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. But it was just, how can you leave?
Radio's like that. You get caught in, and you could talk like when we were on the radio the other
I know,
day.
it went so fast.
That hour flew by like nothing.
How can you leave Soupy Sales and Les Paul?
No, that's right.
Bilko. Remember that show?
Sergeant Bilko, yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
guy was on.
With
Not
Phil-
Phil Silvers, the other guy that was like his sidekick.
The guy was sidekick. Oh,
Him.
Okay.
And he was really funny. That guy, just his voice. What was his
Yeah.
name? Anybody remember his name? I forget. Anyway, that guy was hilarious. Just fast.
Very
I mean,
fast, yeah.
fast.
That's
Guy was
cool.
talented. Anyway, time is changing. It's getting darker earlier at night. Gets lighter later in the morning. So just remember that when you're venturing out, going on a hike or taking a walk somewhere, that you need to remember it. You may leave at 6 o'clock, but it gets dark at like 7 today.
Don't hike in New York.
Don't hike in
Late
New
in the
York.
morning.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah,
You know.
jeez.
Well, today everything you can just mark by this, right? You can just
That's true.
lock it in, bang, gone.
That'd be
Takes
the
you
only
good.
light on though. As you're
Might let
walking.
the battery
Yeah,
go.
it'd be just
Yeah.
like. Anyway, hey, let's talk about this red carpet. It's coming. This is the premiere of a movie called Randy's Canvas, and it's an award-winning film, coming age of a love story about an aspiring artist who also happens to be autistic. So it's going to happen right here in Leominster. The date is October 10th. It's a Thursday, and I think we're going to be there to kind of
Good.
kick it all off.
Is
do
you
our show.
Is
Our
the show gonna
Yes.
remote there?
6 to 9.
So
and
you'll be on 6-ish, or you'll be?
yes, 6:30, 7:30. Tickets are $8.
No, they're free now.
They're free.
We made them free, and then if people want to donate, they can donate.
Yeah, there you go. That's always a
Yeah.
good thing to do.
That's a smart thing to do.
So tell us what happens here. Tell us what this is all about. Randy's
yeah.
Canvas.
Go ahead if you want.
Well, why don't we talk about how it all came about?
Sure, go ahead.
So
Start.
Jerry,
Jerry.
and this man,
man.
invited me to join them as an actor at a murder mystery event, and I was
Boston, yeah.
Was
all
it the butler
for it.
again?
No butlers.
It wasn't the butler. It was me actually.
It was you.
It was me.
You were.
Yeah, it was
Imagine
me.
that. What kind of daughter?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I was the godmother.
Yeah, you were the godmother.
But
right?
it was
It's
really
always the godmother.
fun, and like in between being out on, in with everybody, we were talking about. He was like, she does the autism project.
I was pushing it because
Yeah.
I knew. I knew that.
You had this all going in your head.
Of course I did. Oh, he knows. I get things going in
Yeah.
my head always. Because Dick LeBeau and Adam Carbone, I invited them as actors. They're my friends. I knew they did a lot of work with the Rhode Island Autism Project. I knew Stephanie was is it called Leominster Autism
Yes.
Project? Okay. And so I said, you get the film. Why don't we bring the film to Leominster? She goes, oh my God, it was a light bulb moment.
Yep.
In between the acting
Yeah.
stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and we're talking about it. They're all gaga about it, and they agreed to it, and now it's coming to fruition.
Yeah.
She was easy to convince.
Well, how can I say no? It's
That's
so
right,
cool.
that's
But we've
right.
had like
Yeah,
a
this
lot.
is Jerry. Be there October 10th.
That's it.
For what?
That's
I don't
it.
know. That's it. See it. Bye.
See, I could have put on the
something cool.
Godfather voice and say,
Yeah.
"It'll be there. Give me an offer. You can't refuse."
And I did.
But I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. It
These
was
guys
easy.
are cool.
They're a cool bunch, and
they
it's almost like what comes with them is some more cool things. Like
Yep.
they have a lot of they have their hands involved in a
Resources.
lot of things and projects.
So it's a love story.
it's like a coming of age story, and I think his autism is sort of like a co-star almost. Like
yeah,
it's
it
him
seems
going
like.
through life and navigating life, and you know.
He does fall in love.
Yeah.
I did see that because I saw bits and pieces. Adam Carbone does a great job. Another Paisan.
Yeah.
Get that Paisan.
It was, I guess he was talking about the other day that he actually won an award for his performance, and their film won an award against like The Good Doctor.
Yep.
There's some other series out there, maybe, I couldn't remember exactly. I know The Good Doctor was nominated and they
Right.
beat them.
Yep.
So, and everyone that's seen, I was a little skeptical because I was like, I know it's been done before, and
Did you already see it?
I've seen most of it. I actually was with Adam today testing it out at City Hall just to make sure all of the technology is ready. But it's great. It looks great. It's really well made. The director has a really great eye, and
Definitely.
I was
Oh, God,
impressed.
yeah. Very impressive.
And-
everything was filmed in Rhode Island,
Yep.
I believe. Why not? Italians, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. But
Next
they
best thing is Leominster.
Rhode Island?
that's why they wanted to come
Oh, you
here.
know, I just,
Yeah.
just trying to.
But yeah, so Adam, you know, they basically had some help from the Autism. Is it the Autism Society of Rhode Island?
Rhode Island, yes.
So they actually consulted on the film, and so they did the right thing. Instead of just trying it on their own without
Right,
any
right.
knowledge of autism, they actually reached out to like autistic individuals that helped them. They helped on set.
I think
Some
it was
of
like
them
a 2-week
acted.
period. It was a
Yeah.
solid 2-week period.
Yep.
So they get to know mannerisms, whatever, speech patterns, ways of thinking, and it really worked out very well. And these guys did
Yeah.
a great job. And as soon as I saw that, just light bulb. I thought of this in April.
I
and
know.
then-
Yeah, no, I
It's
remember.
gone by fast.
And this is and October is here. Just want to remind you, if you're just tuning in, October 10th is the premiere of a movie called Randy's Canvas. It's a red carpet event, meaning that this is the first time the movie is shown. This is the premiere of the movie. Is that
I
safe
think
to
it's
say?
only done. They've done it in LA, but
Right.
we'll
Beverly
just say that
Hills,
it's still
LA,
yeah.
so they were out there.
Yeah.
Obviously Rhode Island, but it's a kind of film where I don't know if many people know about it because it's an independent
Yeah,
film.
but it's a
But
red
a
carpet
lot of
event.
independent films
Yeah.
are really good.
And
you know.
admission is free, and if you'd like to make a donation, that's fine. The red carpet starts at 6, meaning doors open at 6, and dress all up.
Oh yeah.
Bring your friends.
Yeah, I think we should totally do that.
And
Well, it depends what we do, but yeah.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
guys can. So you got to get a gown now.
you're going
I
to show up in a
know.
limo.
Yeah.
Well, once we arrange that, but I have a big black car. What Italian doesn't, so.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't know how to park.
You
We've
need to
got
have a
big
driver.
cars.
You need a driver.
Thank God.
Maybe I'll tuck my wife in.
Yeah.
Thank God that they
Just I'm
have.
not getting on the camera. That's
Thank God they have those, the cars with sensors on them now, and
True.
Oh, yeah.
and they have cameras, because people that buy big cars sometimes
Oh, yeah.
aren't necessarily the best drivers, right?
true.
Their navigation used to be just go until you hit something, kind
Yeah.
of tap it.
That's perfect. You tap in the front. Good.
The whole
Now
front
back it
end's
up a little.
gone. Anyway, coming up again, October 10th, 6 to 9, and the red carpet comes to Leominster to benefit the Autism Project. You want to talk about what the Autism Project is while you're here, the Leominster Autism Project?
Sure. So the Autism Project kind of was born in your office. We were talking about my son's autistic, your grandson, and we were talking about, I would think we were talking about how I was having trouble bringing him shoe shopping, and it was difficult.
Yes,
And then
there was
it
actually
was like,
somebody at the shoe store that was very helpful.
yes. And to the point where I was almost in tears, because it's like, people don't slow down for you a lot when you have a child with autism, or because they don't really know. They don't know.
They think the kid is being disobedient,
That's
or
it.
Mm-hmm.
take him outside and give him a licking,
Right.
or don't put up with that. It's bad behavior. And
Right.
there's a difference.
And it's hard too, because people will say, oh, well, they don't look autistic. It's like,
Right.
And that actually isn't fair to say, but also, I mean, it's harder because when there isn't a physical,
Right.
if there's no physical
nothing to
characteristics
kick
of it,
off
yeah, it
any
gets
kind of a-
harder because they are judged based on typical behaviors or typical children, but they're not, necessarily that way. So anyway, so we were talking and we were like, what if we did something with businesses in town, and people have been really great, why don't we do this? So we did a training. We got Lance Mason from the fire department to help out, Nancy Murray from Fitchburg State, Judy Scola from InSync Sensory Gym, and we kind of all came together and we did some trainings for the mall and all these other places, and then it just kind of like grew legs.
Because what happens is, just in case somebody's watching that doesn't understand, is becomes like a little network. Because Jamie's been in the barber chair, and and this happens often, is a kid will have his hair cut and you get this far and you're like, okay, I don't know if I can get any further. And so with the proper training most of the time, and patience, barbers or hairstylists can if they're patient and have the parent there and can work with them and understands, they can help the process, right? I mean, a lot of these kids walk out of the barbershop. I'm not trying to be funny, but one side burns, one side of the head's up here and one side up there. Trying to get them to sit in a dentist chair, and so there are now dentists around here that sort of specialize in that field. So what's happened is there's a network of people where, Stephanie would tell somebody or somebody would tell her, oh, go to so-and-so. They're really good with, and that comes from training and working with the Leominster Project and other resources. Now there are a lot more resources out there, but think of a retailer that's trying to help fit a kid's shoes or trying to, get a shirt on a kid or anything. I mean, just think of the everyday things that, we just assume, and think of a child with autism that has sensory issues that is oversensitized. There are people that are watching right now that don't like crowds or too much commotion or whatever. That's a little taste, right? That's a small sample.
I think people that you can have sensory difficulties and not be autistic. They're not sort of mutually exclusive. So, I think we all kind of have things that we're sensitive about, like tags, or like I've learned a lot about myself. Like, me as a kid, like I had certain things that I had to have, or like weighted blankets, like before the weighted blanket.
I've been wearing those stretch necks. Now everybody's got them, but I've been wearing these things. I don't even know how many years because I don't like that feeling, that tight feeling.
I can't button a top button.
Exactly.
No.
Never do.
Yeah, I don't like
go to
anything.
a wedding, same deal.
Yeah.
Restrictive.
So it's like that, and if your experience with your own things, you can kind of like tap into it and understand it on a bigger, like a way bigger level. And that's part of like being a parent to any kid. You kind of become your child's brain, especially when they can't communicate. You kind of have to. So
imagine having an itch or a stomach ache and a bellyache and you're a little kid and you can't communicate in any way that you have a bellyache, other than maybe yelling.
But
and
they
I
make
don't
noise,
know whether it's your leg or your ankle or your belly.
You don't know what it is.
Exactly. And so the whole thing with the Leominster Autism Project was to bring more acceptance, but bring more education and accommodations, and it's really worked. And so, and from a bunch of other directions it's come, so that today I think many more people, as a result of this and other things, understand it better. But we met somebody at the Life Care Center who was working there, a young lady who has a son, and she's just starting out in the process. She's just getting started. And sort of like Stephanie, was just getting started. You don't know anything. You're like, okay, so it's a brand new world to you.
It is.
So a lot of networking and helping each other out to provide the right resources. And
I applaud Steph for what she does, because she's like a support group for others.
Right.
I know you don't intend to be, but that's what it narrows down to. Because they'll tell you about their woes and what they go through, and you have to try to assimilate and say, yeah, I've gone through that too, or whatever level it is, because I'm sure there are different levels of autism.
It is, and like you can always kind of sense it, like where are you in this process? Like, are you at the beginning, in the middle, and even I seek help from people that have been in, doing. Have been in this world longer than me, and they help me. And it's like we all have our people. Like I met one of my son's nurses has an older adult child, and she's like, if you need me, call me. They're the most like accommodating, like understanding, but we're exhausted. Like you can see it. Like we're all exhausted. Like and not because our children. It's that the world that they live in isn't. Oh man, I could go on about that. But like, I have piles of files in my house just with like services that insurance won't okay for my kid. So it's just it's like a full-time job. And not ones that aren't
necessary, ones that really will make a difference.
And that he's had and wants to continue.
And at one time he wasn't verbal, and now he's beginning to talk and put sentences together.
Which is
great. He knows
exactly. He knows exactly what he wants. That's that much. But when you sit across from a doctor and the kid's 2 years old, and you say, will my child ever talk?
Right.
I didn't think, I thought he
you
wouldn't.
don't know.
No, I didn't think
Imagine
he
that.
would. And
But what you hopefully push him toward can get him to talk, or
Yeah.
the way you deal with him, how you understand it,
Yeah.
it's all, it's all a learning experience, and
It really
I,
is.
I applaud you because that's
But
very
no,
tough to
no
do.
parent should have to start from zero, start
Right, and
all
that's what
over
it is.
again. And that's
That's
the
what
whole
it is.
point, is to help people who want to be helpful, who work in a
Right.
hotel or
Right.
work in the retail world, where the
Right.
kid isn't misbehaving. The kid's got autism, he's on the spectrum.
Right.
If you understand it, or even a little piece of it, you begin to understand it, and you become more inquisitive, you recognize it a little
it's
bit
like
easier.
a cipher.
Yeah.
Right.
For like a
right.
code. You
Yeah,
know, you
yeah.
figure it out and then you're like, okay, I get this now.
Okay.
But it's just slowing people down
Of course.
to
yeah.
want to like take a second and just understand what
And-
their lives are like.
And it's like a full-time job.
It really
Like
is.
6
yeah.
full-time jobs.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
and then
I had a parent, and for some reason, the bus company was changing or whatever, and she had the same bus aid for her child. Some days, and that child, if it wasn't this particular aid, it could take up to an hour and a half to get her on the bus.
That's
In the
amazing.
morning.
Oh my God.
An hour and a half. So it's a very slow process, but this aide just had to relay, understood, and was able to get the child on the bus pretty quickly in the morning. But we call it a meltdown or whatever, right?
Right,
A setback
yeah.
for the day could be hour and a half, and they didn't want to turn around and say no. And the bus driver was patient. It was really important to kind of break that cycle to make sure that the child got to
Right,
school.
and you look at those two people there that played a key role
Yeah.
in
Exactly.
making that happen.
Because
Yeah.
they understand.
Yep.
See the difference?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that may not.
Right.
you
And
know.
so we don't get mad at or upset at the people that don't understand. We
No.
just tried to bring them information. And it can be frustrating for a parent while somebody's in a restaurant saying, take that kid outside, give a
I
good
know.
whipping. You want to
Oh, they
like,
say
you
that
want to
about
whip
me,
it?
and
Oh,
that
yeah,
was-
but,
Yeah.
right. And
That
it's
happens
like,
And that
me.
was normal. No,
right. But
depends.
if you take a breath and say, no, he's not.
Right.
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 You give them the
True.
benefit of the doubt. It's happened to me, to us, and here actually, right downstairs, and mortified, like to the point where our family members that were with us told me that they went home and cried because, the whole environment. You're like, you just want to eat like everyone else.
Right.
You're trying to keep everything
Right.
together, and you never get to go out, and it's like.
No.
But you get those people that don't understand, and maybe they haven't had an opportunity to meet an autistic person or have somebody in their family.
Right.
But I will say that through this project, I was like, I thought, I'm like, no one's gonna want to sit here through a training, and the trainings aren't like super boring. They're informative, but we spend most of the time customizing for wherever the
Sure.
location
You'd
is.
have to, yeah.
So if we're doing the dentist, we talk about just their experience, like so that we don't waste time.
Yeah.
And they're all customized. But at first I was like, no one's gonna want to listen to this. It's not gonna do anything. And I was so wrong. The hundreds of people that we trained, they were asking questions. They were interested, involved. There were people that were like, this sounds like behaviors of my relative.
Yeah,
and then
see?
I found out that they got them diagnosed. Like,
Yep.
it was crazy, like how it kind of turned out. And now, we're getting involved with the schools, and I'm trying to put together a training just for teachers because I'm a teacher. So I know what it's like in their world
course.
and what it's like to have autistic students. So anyway, it's become this kind of crazy thing, but we're
But it's not crazy. It's
crazy in a good way.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy,
Meaning
chaotic.
Chaotic.
Chaotic,
Which
right.
is what we Mazzarellas
Some-
thrive on.
Well,
Chaos.
that's like when you act, and we were just talking when she acted with me doing Murder Mystery, which, by the way, she did a great job. She was number 2 to me.
Thanks, Jerry.
Number 2 to me.
Number 2 to me.
Number
I stuck that
two.
But she did a great job. She even convinced people that she was the host there.
Yeah.
And then when you were the killer, everybody's like,
Is
what's
it
this
true?
kind of-
I have to clear something up. Is it true? You went down Route 2 and you went to the Rotary and just kept driving around the Rotary until they got you to kind of come off of that Rotary? You just kept spinning. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what they said. Paul Durant's told me that.
Oh, Paul.
See, it wasn't
He
me.
said you got to the Rotary and you just kept riding around. And finally, he was like flashing his lights and trying to get you to pull over. And what are you doing?
He was rehearsing his routine.
No, I wasn't. But then you explained it to me. It was a long night. Because we were there from 6 to.
My feet hurt really bad.
Okay, I didn't get into that. But she said when she got home, you had to tend for your
Right.
son, and it was a long
Right.
night.
Yeah.
So here she was doing her thing, having some fun, acting, and having a great time and doing a great job. But then you had to go home.
Right. Well, as parents, you know, and especially parents of children, and I have a little guy on top of it, so it's
Right.
like
He's a handful.
How old's your little guy?
15 months. He
Going
is
on 22.
He
I got
is
a
hilarious.
grandson who's 14. Yeah, and that's.
Hilarious, but busy. He's a boy. Like he's
Yeah.
into everything.
You
and
got 2 boys, right?
2 boys.
So my daughter has.
And they're
She
6
goes,
years apart.
I want a girl. I go, stop right there.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm glad I had.
You're
2
watching
boys.
Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city. Stephanie Madrigal and Jerry Caruso will be there October 10th. Mark it down, 6 to 9, and you'll get a chance to know if you would like to make a donation. Fine. It's the award-winning film Randy's Canvas, a coming-of-age love story about an aspiring artist who also happens to be autistic. Again, you make a donation if you can. That's fine. If not, that's okay. The red carpet starts at 6 o'clock. And make it a fun night.
And you will be there?
I will be there. I think we're going to have the show
do
there.
early edition, or you?
Everything's
it out.
kind of automatically programmed in, like a switch goes off and we have to be on, and then somebody else's show is before or
Right.
after.
Oh, I
So
see.
6:30 to 7:30 we'll be there.
So we have one of the things. So we've got the stars, some of the stars of the movie in it.
Yep.
They're coming.
Yep.
So they'll be doing the red carpet. And then after, you're going to do a Q&A.
Yep.
So you'll be able to ask
Yep.
the actors and the people involved
Yep.
questions
Yep.
about the making of the movie.
And you'll be up front if you want to interview them. That's like I told
Yeah.
Adam, if there's possibility of Paul can bring his sound and we can plug it in
Yeah.
front, and you guys can ask questions as we come out of the
Come
car
in, yeah.
or cars.
Yep.
And that will be cool. And if
It's gonna be
this
awesome.
man is there, he could
Yeah.
do his thing too.
There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Press.
It's big.
It's gonna be fun.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's gonna be big.
We want to send our condolences to Pouliot family, Melanie and the rest of the family. We lost Randy this past week in an accident, ATV accident. Good guy, huge. I cannot imagine the pictures that I've seen from him with the Relay for Life. Tons of pictures.
Yeah.
And just tragic, and just tons of people at the wake tonight. We'll be at the funeral tomorrow. And just a good guy. They had a great picture of him. This must be Jeff Bowers or somebody's, or
It is,
Paul.
it's Jeff.
Paul, what's Paul's name up there in? Up in
yeah.
Paul, from Gardner.
DeMeo?
DeMeo, Paul
DeMeo,
DeMeo's
yeah.
picture. But just
Oh,
a
maybe
great
it-
picture there in the Leominster Champion this week. But on Jeff's got millions of pictures of him at the Relay for Life, and just just a sad situation. A good firefighter. Firefighting is team effort, and a great part of the team, Engine 3. And so we will miss him, and he will get a honorable send-off tomorrow. And again, to Melanie and the whole family, our condolences. Stephanie worked with her at in Lunenburg, right? At
Yeah.
the
Yep.
team teaching. Again, team, right? Everything's a team today. So we lost a valuable member of our team. So we're going to take a short break, and we're coming back because we got photos of the week to share with you. The Cannoli Fest is coming up. Can you
week.
believe that?
Next
It's
week.
already time for the Cannoli Fest.
And they better save you cannolis because
Yeah.
remember the last
Yes,
time?
I didn't get it.
I remember this from last
I
year.
had to
I was
go
on
to
your show. You
Mr.
go, Jerry.
Mike's.
I said, save it, and they didn't.
And I had to go to Mr. Mike's and get one of those cream horns that are wrapped up in the package there. You know, those flaky things?
Oh, those are
yeah.
good.
The-
They can be.
The lobster
lobster
tail?
cl- yeah, the lobster
tail. Lobster
Is that what
claw.
they call them?
Yeah.
Tails or claws?
In a variety
tail.
store?
Because they
Claws?
look like a tail.
Yeah. The claws
They
are
have
the
them at
dog.
No, it's a
Gerardo.
cream horn is what
Yeah,
it's called.
but it's a big. Well,
Was it?
No, this is like out of the one of those the gas stations.
Ew.
Not from there. They didn't have anything. I know what you mean, the lobster tail.
what kind of Italian does
That was right next to the.
You were hungry,
You know
that's
those
why.
chocolate chip cookies you get
Oh,
three
all right,
wrapped
all
up, and you open them up and they just crumble in pieces?
It's a better story than Paul's story, so.
All right, we're taking a short break. We're coming right back with more Inside Leominster. Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the city, and yes, you're not going to believe it, but we're live right from the Cannoli Fest.
She's got shells, she's got cream, that's so good they'll make me scream. I'm in love with the queen of cannoli. She's got a ricotta and a cherry, she's the girl I'm gonna marry. I'm in love with the queen of cannoli. When she takes him to a contest at the county fair at the end of the day, she's got blue ribbons in her hair. Well, just one night you'll agree, they're as great as great can be. Oh yeah, I'm in love with that girl. She's got shells, she's got cream, they're so good they'll make you scream. I'm in love with the queen of cannoli. she's got ricotta and a cherry. She's the girl I'm going to marry. I'm in love with the queen of cannoli. When she takes them to a contest at the county fair at the end of the day, she's got blue ribbons in her hair. Well, just one might you'll agree. They're as great as great can be. Oh yeah, I'm in love with that girl.
I was in Boston last week, and somebody ran up and said, when's the Cannoli Fest again this year? And this all started, this was like, not a joke, but this was sort of like some of the kids that I hung around with since we were in 5th and 6th grade. We've been talking about getting together, and I thought, let's go into the Common. One of my friends plays Beatles music, Freddie Grasso.
Nice.
So I figured we'd get Freddie in there. We'd get some cannoli, some cheap cheese, and maybe a little bit of vino, just a little bit, right?
Vino's good. You gotta have
So
it.
I just figured we'd get maybe 10 or 11. So I went to Facebook and I posted, just figuring that I'd catch a couple more of my friends that I didn't have their phone numbers to, that might have been on Facebook. And then somebody had called and said, did you see like the comments on Facebook? And I said, no, why? And they said, go take a look. And I went to look, and the thing just blew up. It was comment after comment, and then it just was like, oh no, this thing's got some bite to it, right? No pun intended. This thing's got some legs, and then it turned into an event. However, this week, let me see if I can find this, because this is going to be a little bit different. I think there are a couple of things that are happening here, and I don't see it on here, so I'm going to try to ad lib. So the Cannoli Fest is October 3rd from
Thursday.
5 to 9. Also, I think at the City Hall is the Air Force Band. Same night. And I don't know, I don't have it here. I don't know why I don't have it here, but it's not here. And they are going to perform, I think, around 7 or 6 at City Hall, so you can get a cannoli and go into City Hall.
Nice.
But there are more vendors this year, and I'm telling you, just this thing is like, all this for cannoli. The first
Why
one,
not?
the
Why
first
not?
one, I got I think I was probably third to the last to get my cannoli at 12:45 at night. Now, there are more vendors, more cannolis. The vendors are set up better. They didn't know what to expect. And they come from all over the place. I mean,
great.
from everywhere. Rhode Island, down at the Cape. They come from Woburn. I mean, they're from all over the place. So, and local. Auntie Ellen's was there, and she had a machine going. And so they'll all be there. The high school was there last year, the CTEI. And so anyway, it's October 3rd. It's 5 to 9. Come on down. Make part of history. People talk about this everywhere. I met a guy last year, I met a guy walking down Main Street, started to chat with him. He was on his way to get the last train out so he could get back to Boston. And he came with some of his friends for a cannoli.
Wow.
To the Cannoli Fest.
Who doesn't like cannoli?
It's not just that. It's a great icebreaker for people to be able to talk. You know,
and
just
it's great
bring up
atmosphere
talk.
for
to
it.
bring
You're
everybody.
outside. People who don't like to talk into a place outside
Yes.
is so different.
And I'm waiting for the first engagement to happen at
At the Cannoli Fest?
Maybe
I'm already
even
mad.
No, I am
maybe-
too, but I'm saying I'm
maybe-
trying to think of something.
Maybe even somebody that met somebody in line.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I never know, because these lines were long and people start chatting, and
I'll
next thing
put it
you
on
know.
Facebook. Who
Yeah.
wants to get engaged?
Well,
Anybody
I'm just
need-
saying. At the Johnny Appleseed Festival last week, a couple got engaged.
Aw.
They met at the Johnny Appleseed Festival, and they were engaged
Wow.
at the Johnny Appleseed
Well,
Festival.
not that night. I mean, but they
They
met
waited
years
a little
ago.
while. Yeah, they waited.
They waited a couple
Well, they
hours.
fell in love. You know, they
Yeah.
had the apples. And
They had the apples
someone
and the
said,
crisp.
"Don't eat that apple from the tree," and
Yeah.
they did. And
Yeah. And so anyway, at the Apple Tree, at the Johnny Appleseed Festival,
Wow.
he got down on his knee in front of her booth. She was there working with Life
my
Care Center,
Wow.
Aw.
and did the old drop to the knee thing.
That's so
and
nice.
So you could turn around and say, "Here's a special
Let's
event.
fall in love.
Let's make
You
something
might-
special."
You know, I think that's a good
fall
idea,
in
because
love.
that's people who are
Imagine
coming
that.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like food truck festival, it's a lot of like.
Well, you know what it is? Like the Beer Fest. It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
We all have something in common. We're all there to drink beer. We're all there to eat cannolis.
right.
Hey, how many did you get? Where did you go? Did you like it? Where are you from? What's your phone number?
Yeah.
Can we get married? Do you have an
We get married,
endowment?
yeah.
Do you have a trust fund?
Yeah.
What
You know,
are you
all
doing
those-
in
Do
3
you got any
hours?
kids? Do you
Yeah.
got any kids?
All right, let's do photos of the week before we forget. Wendy works hard on this, so I want to make sure we hit photos of the week. There we go. North Main Street paving. So tomorrow they'll be raising structures on North Main Street. Put the final coat of paving down. We are not doing the actual pavement from Pre-Street on, because that whole area in front of Watertown Plaza, if you haven't seen it yet, is all going to be done over. There's a public hearing coming up, I want to say Tuesday night. Again, I don't see this here, but it's coming up. I'll try to get that information for you, but it is coming up. So that's the reason we're not touching it. There's still underground work that needs to get done. Intersections will be moved, so when you come out of Watertown Plaza or you're coming out of CVS, the intersections will now line it up. Leominster is the only place where you really have to have certain driving abilities to be able to drive through North Leominster.
Great, yeah. Different type of driving.
It's
I've
like,
noticed
no
that.
problem. I know what it's like to be in oncoming traffic to take a left turn in North Leominster.
Yeah.
So that's all going to change. Main Street paving, again, a section of Main Street from where people exit the mall all the way down to Mill Street near Carter Park will be done over. Jen Perla said today that they were out there working, so final pavement tomorrow, and then we'll move over to North Main Street. Highland Ave. We started replacing sidewalks on Highland Ave, and I'll tell you, we did all around Highland Ave, all the way down by Northwest School, and all the way back to the hospital and around. There's this giant loop, and I'll tell you, people that work at the hospital, people that live in the area, within a mile of the area, make that their walking route. So there's the base pavement there, and we're going to put the final pavement on soon, and that's one long hill.
That is a long hill.
Yeah, Arlington Street, again, they're working there to do the gas lines. There is a huge demand for A, to replace older gas lines, but B, to bring gas to streets that haven't been serviced. And a lot of the lines are very small, so they can't add. So if you call and say, hey, listen, I live on Arlington Street, what they'll tell you is, we don't have enough pressure to bring it to you. So that's exactly what they're doing. When they're done, it settles, we'll get back there and pave it. We did the water lines. And we just got a grant, and we're happy about that. Wendy had Weeks put in for this grant. This is in front of Ryan Time. It's going to look a whole lot different. So we'll start at Mechanic Street, that whole front area in front of the woodblock, all the way to Rollstone Bank.
Nice.
Will be done over. We'll be building a park down there. I'll tell you, Leominster's really downtown. It's really coming together. I tell people,
it looks very good.
if you want to open a business and you got this idea of a dress shop or a men's shop or so many different people, let me tell you, there are certain things I wouldn't try in Leominster because it just might not catch on, but there are certainly things that I believe will catch on. And you saw that Billy Brady's going to be running that restaurant that Peter Bavenzi's been working on, and immediately it got just one person's name, Billy and his wife's names immediately got attention, and Peter has spent an incredible amount of money over there, and this could be a great restaurant.
What kind of restaurant? What kind of food?
Isn't it Italian?
But let me tell you, everywhere I go, people know us by our restaurants.
Definitely.
It's amazing. They're like, yeah, I went to Lucas, or I went to Christina's, or I
Yeah,
go
that's
to,
true.
a gas bar or whatever. Everybody knows.
Yep.
And I know sometimes the restaurant owners get frustrated because they think it's taking away from their business, but in reality, where else are you going to go to restaurants other than here? We have the most amount of restaurants. So in the food experience, people like to change around. Some people have their favorite, or on an anniversary, like to go to a special place, and it's their favorite place. But I like to move around. There's always
wife
something
likes
on
that too.
every
She wants
menu
different.
that I like. I can find something I like
I fall in
everywhere.
love with one place.
Right. That's like my favorite. But honestly, I like the experience. I like to go
Yeah,
in, look
true.
around, see what's there.
Yeah.
I like noise sometimes. I like it quiet sometimes. I like the seating sometimes. So anyway, this is going to really be a huge, huge improvement to that area and a real gathering point there. And it's coming along. It really is.
Very
It's
nice.
coming along. Town is, when I think about, the past and what it looked like, we've really turned the corner, as they say. And there we are. We have a promotion at the Leominster Fire Department to Lieutenant Provencher and his family were there to help celebrate with other firefighters from the fire department and also friends in the medical service business. But, it's a big deal to, get a job as a civil servant, a police officer, firefighter, get a job. We've got 2 ladies now working at the fire department doing a great job. We have a very diverse police and fire department, very diverse city workers. And anyway, it's a big deal. When you get the job, and I could tell you from experience, it was a big deal. And then you get promoted, it means something. And so he's one of our supervisors now and worked his way up the ranks, hard worker, and congratulations to he and his family. And the Spanish Center, full crowd at the Spanish Center celebration. So anyway, they said it was going to be kind of a Caribbean style. Well, guess who comes walking in with what clothing he was wearing the day of the Johnny Appleseed Festival? Because I still had another event or two to go to after the festival. Shorts, right? Guess who?
Oh boy. Wait,
Me.
you didn't have a picture of you in
No,
that
no,
outfit?
thank goodness they didn't take a picture.
You're not in there at all?
There I am with my bony legs, with my hairy bony legs, half a tan up to my knees.
Wait, you didn't do the worm? You were trying to tell people
Low
you
as you
can't
go.
dance.
No, this is they have this
does the worm?
song that's low as you can. I don't know if this was it,
Oh,
but there's
like-
Mickey Guzman who dances from the very beginning. But look how dressed up everybody
Wow.
is.
And
you
Everybody
weren't, and you
was
weren't.
dressed to the T's. Everybody looked so good. And as soon as I walked in, I said,
Did they look at you and say, get him
"Oh
some
yeah," they're
food?
like, "Oh
Look, poor
man, this was the wrong move." And that's the first time in 26 years that's happened.
Wow.
I mean, I've been overdressed sometimes, but you
Right.
can't be
Right.
because out of respect, you wear a tie, so you're
Yeah,
really not.
yeah,
This is
you
the
should,
first time
right.
it's ever happened to me that I walked into an event
With a tie-dye
and thought,
shirt.
I'd like to be, maybe I can head out of here, maybe nobody saw me. But anyway, great
Grateful
food,
Dead shirt.
Yeah.
great, that was worse. This was worse.
Worse?
That was worse.
Oh, boy.
T-shirt? Do you
And
have a
Wendy
t-shirt?
likes to climb 8 stories tall
I
to
know,
get
she
that
likes to go up
bird's eye
there.
shot
I
of
haven't
the
done it yet.
26th annual Johnny Appleseed Festival. Thank you to Rick Martian, who pours his heart into this, and all the vendors and people that show up. You know what? There were very few events around this area when we first started putting them on. We caught on to something really quick, and we started doing more and more. And now, you know what? It's great. Everybody's caught on. There are events everywhere. No matter how small your town is, you can have a festival. Next time
Yeah,
we'll
but
have
you
a
guys have a
festival.
lot.
We'll have
You
a
guys have a
festival
lot
of
to offer.
festivals.
Right.
And more to come, right? Just have
festival
fun. Watching
festival.
paint dry festival
Yeah.
at Sherwin-Williams.
We can do that.
Corn festival.
Plenty of
Corn
that.
festival,
well,
yeah.
So anyway, then the tractor parade. So this is another thing I wanted to do for a long time, and then I finally said it always conflicts because I wanted to do it harvest time, harvest season, right? Kick off harvest season. The celebration that we still have a lot of farms, Shoalin Farms, Go Farm, all that. So I said, you know what? Let's just pick a day and do it because we never seem to be able to get it off the ground. And I was amazed at how many people showed up, how many tractors showed up, and we had a lot of fun. It really was a.
Oh man,
That
you
was
put your
a
speaker
fun
in there.
time. Route 12 here, I'll announce that in a minute. And this was the best. Here's a young kid with his dad in the back, and his dad is sitting in a lounge chair with a little can that kind of replicated a can of beer, I think, lounging. And it was fun. We had antique
That's cool.
tractors. We did have a lot of fun. There's Mike Crowley's excavator,
Aw.
and there's Chappie driving it, I think with one of...
Is that Rowan?
Yep. I think that's, yes. So we had a lot of fun. And everybody that was here, and we parked all the tractors, and kids could climb on them.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
Kids love that.
We really did. Let me go back one. Look at that. Antique tractor. So next year, now that we did it, there'll be more next year. More people showed up, but
That's all it takes.
was fun, and
Usually 12.
it sort of helped to bring people to the fair downtown, to the harvest,
Oh,
to the
farmers market? Farmers market?
Farmers market. I'm sorry, losing my mind here, running out of words.
Mm-hmm.
And there we are doing the final replacements of the
The LED.
LED lights downtown, right in front of the post office. Joe Poria and crew. Team effort. Everything we do is team. Can't do it alone. We do it as a team. And the LED has really helped us. We'll have paid off the loan that it took us to purchase the system and the lights in, I think, 3 years. That's substantial. And there we are at the Food Truck Festival. Another festival, again.
Yes.
That was 27 vendors. We still had lines. We'll add to, but we had a lot of fun. We had a band.
Yeah.
And it's another event. Everybody just kind of chats, and people come from all over the place. Builds pride. And then this was a ballot box that was donated, and this was from the 60s, and it was actually found
cool.
and donated to the city, and that's how the ballots used to come, believe it or not.
Huh.
And let's see.
Wait, you just found that?
Roland Lane, who was a huge historian in Leominster, he just passed away. He was the same age as Mario.
Oh, okay.
They were both in
Oh, wow.
World War II, in the Army, I believe, and he passed away, and his daughter brought this to City Hall and thought it was pretty interesting.
That
We're
is
looking
really
at
cool.
Where'd they find it?
it. In his house, he had it.
Oh
Yeah, he
my
had collected a
God.
lot of things from
That is
Leominster.
very cool.
Kevin White was the secretary, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Oh, let me go back one. I'm sorry. And happy birthday, 107th birthday to Norma Schofield.
She looks amazing.
She is incredible.
That's
Wow.
And what's really unique about this whole thing is that her family lived where that Manor on the Hill is. They owned
yeah.
all of that land, all of that farmland.
Oh my
It was all tied into the Smiths, the Schofields, and That's quite amazing when you think
Wow.
about it. So
That is
she was
something.
back home again, so to speak.
God bless her.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to where we were. And let me just see if there's anything else. Shoalin Farms is open. Unbelievable. The apples, incredible.
Yeah.
And open 9 to 5 every day, so they don't have to mess around with it. They open today. And this weekend they have a big fair this Sunday, I believe, they have, the Crafters Fair. So make sure you attend that. That's so that's coming up this weekend. The Harvest Fair at Shoalin Farms is the 12th. The Halloween Parade is the 19th. Festival of Trees is the 25th of November. And then it just goes on and on and on.
And then Tyler will be all set up.
Tyler, we got to get Tyler
I
going.
know.
You know, I keep trying to do a fundraiser for Tyler, but he won't accept.
I know.
And he really, him and his father and his family, they spend so much money on that. You go to Tolman Ave, next to where Jack McLaughlin lived, and he took over Jack McLaughlin's yard. He's taken over the neighbor's yard, sheds. This is like a big thing. And Tyler, I said, Tyler, he'd rather people give gifts that go to the Toys for Tots for the Marines. And I said, but Tyler, you guys spend so much money, just the electric bill. So I said, Tyler, let us do a little fundraiser for you so we can help you raise money. You can continue to buy what you want, and still people will contribute by giving gifts. So
The toys, yeah.
I don't know.
They
That's
give
a
out
great
candy
idea.
canes. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, that's great.
They have a Facebook page. What's it? Christmas on
On
Tolman.
Tolman.
Oh my God.
And we'll have
T-O-L-M-A-N.
him on the show, but he
Yeah.
keeps.
If they ever want to do anything, holler. My
September
goodness.
28th, 1 to 3 at the Leominster Public Library. It's What's It Worth? And they call it Leominster Public Library and find out more about it. So you can bring things like, see things on TV
like Antique Roadshow.
yeah, I just found this cup. It has George Washington's name on it.
there's-
What's it worth? Well,
Yeah, Mazzarella
it's
had
in
it,
good
yeah.
condition, and I checked. It's worth $7 million. And they're like, really? But it's just a cup? Yeah, that show, right? So anyway, they're going to be doing something like that.
That's so
No
cool.
weapons, coins, or stamps. Registration opens 8/26. And you do have to register because they can only do 50 appraisals.
Right.
So call
Makes sense.
978-534-7522, extension 3. Here it is. United States Air Force, Heritage of the American Band, Joint Base Langley, Austin's, Virginia. Thursday, October 3rd. Concert begins at 7, so you can grab a cannoli and go over and listen to the concert. It's Rhythm and Blue. Rhythm and Blue, free concert featuring the world's finest active duty musicians performing classic big band favorites from the 1940s and 50s and brand new songs from today's greatest jazz composers for audiences of all ages. So come on down, it's free. Absolutely.
Nice.
Did you know Uncle Chuck performed with the United States Army?
I'm not surprised.
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, he was in the
I had
in
no
the
idea.
band. Yeah.
The coolest guy.
He really was the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
And this was in the Korean War that he performed, and performed, I believe, with the what did he play? I think he plays the sax. Swing a light on recovery. Time to act, time to heal. Candlelight Vigil, October 2nd, 6 to 8, Leominster City Hall, 25 West Street. If you have lost a loved one to addiction and would like them commemorated during the event, please email a photo with the name and date of birth and the date of their angel wings to jmcquaid at police.leominster-ma. Just call our office, so the police department will give you the information. But anyway, there'll be resource tables, guest speakers, and a vigil, all to commemorate National Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month. And we lost way too many.
Yeah.
And let that go. But
Good catch.
let's see.
Thank you.
The North County, we got 1 minute, or are we done? 1 minute. Okay. Update on North Street, just in case you didn't know. We're in the final stretch on Summer and North Street project. The remaining guardrail is being installed this week. The paving of the surface of the course is scheduled for October 7th. We're expecting to be paving Monday through Friday, weather permitting. We're going to have message boards up for the last week to let people know that we're going to be paving. And when they start, they just go. And they just keep feeding that hopper. And they go. It's going to take them a long time. And then the week of the 14th, they'll come back and do line striping, pavement marking, and all of that. We'll have it all wrapped up by mid-October. They are done earlier than expected. This is a $9 million project between Leominster, Fitchburg, and Lunenburg. So, thank you. Don't forget, coming up October 10th,
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from
Today
today,
from today, yeah.
is a free event. If you can make a donation, it would be appreciated. The red carpet comes to Leominster to benefit the Autism Project, and this is a movie called.
Randy's Camp.
Randy's Camp.
Yeah.
Let me see. Thank you both for coming on.
Stars, celebrities, come on.
Jerry.
Jerry will be
Yeah,
there.
well,
I mean,
throw
just
me
that
in.
is worth 25 bucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily.
We're out of time here inside Leominster. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.
So great. That's a great.
Inside Leominster is brought to you through the generous support of Colonial Insulation Company, residential and commercial insulation and fireproofing services, specializing in blown-in cellulose as well as spray foam insulation. For more information, visit their website, colonialinsulation.com, and by Medical Arts Hearing Instruments, 52 West Street in Leominster, locally and authentically providing better hearing and quality of life since 1978. www.donot.shout.com.